Welcome back to Senders Only Podcast. Today's guest is someone who's been pushing the limits in more ways than one. You probably know Max from Ride and Destroy, the Harley stunt competition that changed the game. He created a stage for young riders to show off their skills, get noticed, and even get paid by major companies, all while throwing down on Harley Davidsons. He's been running shows since 2017 and they've grown every year, attracting riders from all over the world. That's actually how I met Max. But what a lot of people don't realize is that the Brawl is just one piece of what Max does. He's also behind some of the biggest ski and snow events in the country, and when he's not building events, he's jumping off cliffs. We're talking skydiving, base jumping, and ski base jumping. Some of the craziest stuff you'll ever see. He's a straight killer and one of the most humble people I have met, and someone I've got a ton of respect for. So let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Max Kuzash. All right, Senders Only Podcast. This is our first guest, Max. Thanks for coming in. I know you've got a hell busy schedule and you got lots on this weekend, but thanks for making the time.
No worries, man. A little sleepy. It's okay though.
Yeah, we just drive 14 hours.
Yeah, give or take through the night
14 hours.
with the dogs. Here we are again, San Diego.
Oh, Joey, you've made it in. I didn't know if you're going to make it today, but you made it happen.
I appreciate you boys being accommodating and helping me out.
He wore his gloves
You
this
want
time.
to show your hands?
I don't know what to do, dude. Full Ricky Bobby, buddy. Full Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands, but we're good. It ain't about me being a dumbass. But here we're talking about Max today, not my stupidity.
Yeah.
You guys can hear
A
me
little
clear,
bit
right?
Max has
stupid.
done
You have
it.
to be a bit closer to the mic.
Okay.
Even if you want to hold the thing.
Do you need a boost?
So snow season for you just ended, Max. Has
it
it?
just kind of wrapped.
Yeah.
It did.
What was the last event she's been doing? What have you been what's been happening?
Man, I used to go all over the place with it, but now I'm just kind of chilling in Utah, doing a bunch of events in Utah. But it's an interesting scene right now because there's a lot of progress going towards the talk of an Olympic sport. So
Right.
I do a lot of big mountain freeride events if people have any idea what that is in the motorcycle community, but kind of what you can think of big mountain skiing, you know, getting dropped off with a helicopter and skiing down in a bunch of cliffs, but now doing it kind of at a ski resort, contained course, the whole nine. But it's a sport that's massively grown throughout the whole world, from the junior side of things, adult side of things, and I produce a ton of those events.
That's cool. Is it mainly in Utah?
No, it's all over.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy, like very much like motorcycling. You know, what we have is the AMA sanctioning body. You got an IFSA sanctioning body on the ski side of things and snowboarding, and all working for that like big goal of everyone's looking now 5 rings Olympics. It's wild.
That's crazy. Is the next Olympics here now? It was going to Australia and then it got cancelled.
For winter?
I
Or
don't
summer?
know.
Why did it get canceled? Was it the breakdancing?
I don't know. That really wrecked us.
That wrecked you.
That officially was canceled, right? Breakdancing's done, I
I
think.
done. She ruined it.
Yeah.
Did you hear the story about that?
Uh-uh.
That her husband was the judge to get her in.
No.
Yeah, and it was like all rigged, and there was people that actually could break dance, and then she won it.
So straight nepotism.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Big
it.
Les
And-
should make an episode about that.
Yeah,
Man.
it went real bad.
That'd be beautiful. You watched Big Les yet?
No idea.
Dude.
I don't know.
You
either.
need to be smoking a bit of weed to be watching that. It's-
Smoke a joint,
idea.
watch Big Les. It's hectic.
I think the first time me and Joey smoked weed together, I made him watch it. I was like, this is what I'd usually watch if I ever
Oh,
got
you showed me.
Bro,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
the most
I
brain
remember.
dead.
Big Les show, watch it.
What do they take?
Everything.
They do just a bunch of drugs and then make a TV show. It's
Yeah,
great.
they take acid and then write these shows on paint, like Windows
That's what
Paint.
you used to watch as a kid?
Yeah, at
What?
school.
Is that what you grew up on?
At school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to. I have no idea either. So
Go look at Big Les. It's stupid.
It's so stupid. But they should make an episode about that.
Yeah, probably. They probably will.
Funny as hell.
yeah. To answer your question, I think LA's coming up pretty soon.
The Olympics?
I think so. I think that.
Yeah, I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
Until they put bikes in Olympic sport, and then I might watch it.
They have BMX in it now,
They do.
right?
Yeah,
Skateboarding
yeah,
and BMX.
Yeah,
Racing?
skateboarding
Yeah,
BMX.
racing.
Yeah, I
can
started
tell you
watching
that,
it.
I can tell you that winter next one's in France and then Salt Lake,
Yep.
2034.
That's cool.
Yeah. So what they had it in 2002, and that was pretty rad. I was
You
actually
say
able to
2034?
2034. 9 years.
So people train that long to be in it.
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't know what's going to happen in 9 years, right?
No. So every 4 years there's a summer or winter Olympics. So
Do they get
and-
paid the whole time training?
That's questionable.
Like
Depends
depending
what-
their sponsors and
Yeah,
shit.
well, it's more like countries, and then I can't even answer all that stuff because it's wild due to the fact that once you become on an Olympic team for a country, you're limited to who you can have for sponsors and who you can promote.
Imagine saying, I'm gonna go to this in 9 years. Can you look after me? That's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
oh yeah, and there's guys training right now. Like I host these events in Utah where you have a 12-year-old that could be a potential Olympian. It's wild.
Wow.
It's really, really wild. How's that headphone? Good?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, don't
Okay.
ignore me.
Max keeps talking about hosting events. You used to be the rider though. Let's talk about that. Let's jump into that.
Wait, you used to write?
Well, he's like the skier, jump out of. He's talking helicopters or off cliffs and that stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
let's get straight into that.
What happened? What's going on?
When was the last time you
we know what
jumped?
happened. You got old.
I got old.
Max is like, how old are you, Max?
45.
45.
Is that crazy?
So
You
let's go-
look 25.
Yeah.
I sometimes.
That's why he slays.
It depends. It depends if I drove through the night and. No, yeah, I know it caught up real quick, but no, yeah, I used to compete and all that stuff with ski stuff and was super into it.
Was that
And
the
so-
first thing you did? Like you grew up doing ski stuff?
Yeah, and bike stuff, bike.
Like,
And
Did your
BMX
parents get
bike?
you into it? Like,
BMX.
Oh, downhill. Downhill.
Downhill wasn't a thing yet.
Oh.
You think about that.
How old
like
were you when you first raced BMX?
first race BMX.
Yeah.
I never really like raced BMX. I would per se, but I BMX bike. I was 8 years old. I had one. Like
Right.
maybe younger.
What
And then-
what bike is it?
It was an old Haro. I can't even remember what it was.
Sick.
It had
Yeah.
mags. I
That's
can't remember.
13
Yeah,
spoke.
yeah, terrible. I remember my parents got it. It was like a red bike.
but your
Gold-
parents got you into skiing and snowboarding?
by default.
Yeah.
There was a ski hill where I grew up in Connecticut, which is crazy because circle back to now with like East Coasting guys.
So you're from Connecticut?
I'm from Connecticut, upstate, about 30 minutes from Gabe and all those guys.
That would have been so cool if we made that thing work.
Yeah, but there was a ski hill like at the end of my road, like 1 mile away, and I had night skiing and all that stuff. And my parents were like, "Here you go, you're gonna go do this." It was basically like babysitting, and that was it.
See ya.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
yeah. After school, there you go. You're gonna go skiing, like 16 little trails and 300 vertical feet. And,
That was us at the BMX jumps.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, get out of the house.
yeah, get out of the house in the summer is just riding BMX bikes around like ET kids, like all over Connecticut,
You're
just doing-
old. Did you ever have like the Schwinn with the big banana seat? No, you're a little bit. You're not that old.
Old Stingray? Come on, man. No. I think I have one of those seats though.
I believe it. You have
Yeah.
a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, random things. But no, I didn't have one of those. Give me a break. Give me a break. No, and then got into mountain biking. That was like a big thing. Worked at a shop and the whole nine. And then skiing kind of took over. It was like when I was starting to skiing wasn't cool. I mean, now is it cool? I don't know. It's definitely more popular now.
Something I wouldn't be good at.
But I mean, at the time, like late 90s, skiing was in a downfall. Snowboarding was the shit, and it was such a style off of skating and street stuff. And snowboarding was it. And there was a whole bunch of skiers, believe it or not, Canadians that we all looked up to that kind of adapted to what snowboarders were doing. And then the evolution kind of happened.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. And then out of high school, I was like, all right, I'm going to move out west. And that's what I want to do. I'm going to go to Colorado. I'm going to go to college and just ski. That was it.
So you just wanted to be a skier. That's what you wanted to do is for your living. And
I don't know. It just kind of worked out that way. I went to a couple summer camps in the summer in Whistler, which, skiing in July in Canada, and met a bunch of guys, met all these guys I was like idolized and, looking at magazines and all this stuff. I was like, oh man, like it's within like an arm's reach. Like, here we go, and like all of a sudden I moved out west and skiing kind of took over, believe it or not. But at the same time, like skiing isn't all year round. It was for a while. Like I'd be in New Zealand all summer. I'd be.
So when did parachutes come into play? Because obviously you skied your whole existence. But then when was it like,
When did
man,
that
I'm going to
happen?
ski off this mountain? Like when did that come into play?
That was a weird like evolution. I would have to say there was one ringleader guy that we all looked up to, we're friends with, that is no longer with us, but he was a big Red Bull guy. And he was really at the forefront of everything with skiing. And his name was Shane McConkey out of Lake Tahoe area. And we all wanted to be Shane. He was the man. And he was a peer, but he was the dude that we all wanted to chase after. And he got into skydiving. We all got into skydiving.
is Shane still here?
No, he passed away.
That's who he showed us the
The
videos
video.
of.
That's what
But
I was going to say.
there's-
I'll never forget that.
Yeah,
Same
but like
shit.
Red Bull's done a documentary on like his life and everything that he did, and he was at the forefront of everything. But mainly because of him, we all wanted to be him, even though he was a peer. We started to push into, okay, let's go skydiving. You know.
So you
Definitely one of the
skydived before you even thought about ski base jumping, or did you learn skydiving to ski base jump?
It was kind of both, but
It's
irresponsibly.
crazy.
Well, irresponsibly, a bunch of us went to Idaho and jumped off the bridge with like no skydives, pretty much, just with peers.
You
and
probably
friends.
learned very fast, hey?
Yeah, we used to call it death camping. Just throw friends off the bridge. Like, what's the worst that could happen?
I wanted to do it so bad when I was up there with you, but I'm still going to try come up and do it.
Yeah, you should. It's
I'd
super
love
fun.
to.
But yeah, that was kind of the evolution. It was like, man, and then that all of a sudden that took over. Like, oh man, base jumping, skydiving, parachute stuff in the summer is amazing. And then Shane opened the door. I mean, you can watch a movie about the whole thing, but he opened the door chasing after what happened in the 70s with James Bond. There's a classic scene with James Bond with a guy ski basing off a cliff in the 70s. Shane wanted to do it. He did it. We're like, oh man, that's possible. And then all of a sudden, we're chasing after him. We're all skiing off of cliffs with parachutes.
It's so crazy
It's
watching
wild.
that footage. Like, I remember that night that we were at yours. I never even knew it was a thing.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'd
crazy.
been skydiving and got my license, and I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Bro, and he just kept pulling out DVD after DVD. And I'm
They
like, bro,
climb up the mountain. Like, how long does it take him usually to climb up the mountain to just skydive off it in 10 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, you can spend like a day hiking up.
Getting
to
up
something.
there.
Yeah, I mean, and then that took over. We're in Europe in the summer and hiking around the Alps and jumping off of stuff and throwing rocks off of things to see if it will go. And
so
I think,
crazy.
yeah, it was wild.
I got a bunch of buddies that base jump and go to Europe and stuff like that. And I just watch their videos, like
Aussies.
bunch of Aussies.
There used to be this like really like grassroots DVDs we'd get from Aussie guys, and they're absolutely apeshit crazy.
They
And,
all
like,
are.
They would all be jumping off of cliffs with 0 landing zones, and we would love watching the videos because they would open parachutes and just pound into trees. Like they didn't care about landing; it was just jumping off the cliff, surviving, and then slamming into trees.
That's
I got a
Jake
buddy
on
back
dirt bike.
home, and
Dude,
I can't tell
that's
you
like
what his
all
name
Aussie.
is or what he does, but he travels just to stay away from Australia, base jumping off stuff, and he went and like flew past the statue of Jesus and like got near his hand and all that crazy stuff. And every time he leaves, he's like, what he says is like, I'm going. I don't know if I'll see you again, so I love yous, but and then
crazy.
he always ends up coming back.
I know,
But
it's
it's just like what you go, like you think like this might be it. This might be my last jump.
I know. We used to always joke around, like, you know, we always say, like, don't go dying on me, you know, like joking around. And then all of a sudden, friends start dying. And it's like, shit, this is real.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
gets serious.
It gets super serious.
Would
And
you
like,
base jump, fully?
I base jump off the
I'm
bridge, like
pretty
it's pretty
dumb.
safe like
Yeah.
that, but it's like
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty dumb. I'd probably do
Do
it.
you think you'd
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah.
I want to do it
yeah,
real bad.
Twin Falls is fun. I mean, I've gone up there with a ton of people. I mean, in the motor world, like I brought Tallboy up there way back in the day.
Yeah, I'll
and-
never forget that. So we like got super deep into the skiing stuff real quick. Let's talk about the mountain biking really quick because you spoke about that like in the summer. So
There's another thing I want to talk about too. Fucking him sending Tallboy T outside of that mountain.
yeah. we'll get there. But dude, we go to Utah. I mean, Matt, he has to have some like you had to be pretty sick on a downhill bike because like we go to Utah. I grew up around downhill. My brother raced downhill. I grew up racing BMX, jumpy bikes. Like I'm pretty decent on a bike. Max gets us free bikes. Remember the bikes like fresh
yeah.
bikes unboxed.
They unboxed him for us.
Yeah, they unboxed them, built them, fresh bikes. We destroyed them. And he took us to some locals. He took us with the locals. The trails we went down were no fucking joke.
Yeah, crazy shit.
You still do that?
I mountain bike a lot. Yeah, I'm more cross country and like
Is
kind
that,
of Euro.
is that mountain biking to you?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Because,
Yeah.
dude, Joey never BMX, big jumps, everything. Like
Yeah.
growing up, I'll never forget him going down the hill.
Oh fuck.
You remember that?
Fuck
He gets
you.
to the bottom after the first run, and he's like, "Are you guys using the front brakes?" He's just all the way full
Oh,
tilt,
yeah.
all the way back on the rear. Like we're going down shit like this.
I
with,
just thought
like,
it was that crazy.
8-foot drops, doing like 20, 30 miles an hour, never going down the trail.
No front brake, just a full
Well, when I
speed.
knew something was wrong, well, dude, I handled it. I didn't crash, but like I knew something was wrong when like I looked over and Tallboy T's just locked up and he's sending like a wave of snow over my head. I'm like,
Wait.
"Wait, so what am I doing wrong?
Just like-
Downhill mountain biking,
In
and
the
there's
snow.
snow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he jumped into it next to me and starts skidding, and there's just this like, dude, it was like a movie. He was sending the snow over my head.
It looked like he was on his dyno.
So then we get to the bottom, and these are like all my boys, and I'm like, wait, are you guys using the front brake? And they're like, What? Because we had just gone down, like, bro, and the whole time I'm just in a fucking skid.
But after you learn the front brake, it got sick. We
Game
were like
changer.
battling
Do you reckon
that.
you had a flat spot in your wheel?
It wasn't my wheel. I don't know.
He had a flat spot on his ass. His ass was like on the rear wheel.
No,
the whole way.
I got that last time we went. Well, the only time I've been.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah,
Park City.
we're wanting to talk, bro. You were handing your bike to me like I was
Dude,
your
I was
daddy.
stuck between the seat and the rear wheel, going down the sink.
That's when you took the funniest crash.
Let's tell that story, Max.
I took him down a bunch of skidder trails. Like, just there's no hope of stopping. You just get on the brakes. You just control slide all the way down this stuff. Jake just throws in the towel. He's like, "Fuck this."
I'm like trying to walk this thing down. Well,
It
pretty
was
much
worse
tumbling.
than the trails we rode.
Way worse.
I've never been downhill mountain biking in my life, and I look at this thing, I'm going, yeah, fuck.
And we're going down, and Joey's in front of me, hits a root, goes right over the handlebars, and it's so steep that he probably went 100 feet down the hill and just starts and hits a bunch of shit, and then knocks the wind out of himself. So he's trying to gasp for air, and I can't stop laughing. I felt awful. He's covered in dirt.
By the time I get down there, he's up and moving. Like that's how long it took me to get to where they were.
And bro, rightfully so, I've never heard Max laugh so hard.
I was dying.
He's like, "Are you good?" I'm like,
I was smoked.
it was 2 routes. In my defense, I got over the first one, and then there was, I was like, "How am I supposed to pull up?" And I just fucking smacked.
What spot was that?
It was like
It was
trails.
in
You
Park-
told me
it was
that
at Park City Resort.
Like
yeah.
up where we went.
he told me that Ken Block had like helped cut him out. It was like locals only shit. Like we were in the summit, but it was like trails that you didn't see.
Do you remember
Like-
where you took us the first time?
Park City.
We
Well,
went.
yeah,
no,
no,
we went
but
up to
like-
like Empire Pass with you guys, didn't
Was
we?
it? No.
We went past. It was up past
Or
Park City.
It was, huh?
It was up at- it was like Empire.
We went up and then like parked up on the top of it.
Yeah, and then came down. Yeah, it was Empire.
And that one's gonna feel like a big blur because he did get us the bikes, and then we went and did our own thing. Remember, I went OTB, super bad at those dirt jumps.
Was he with us when we went those? Dude, the locals took us to like the dirt
Oh, you
jump
went
spots.
to Tanner Park. Yeah, that's like
Dude.
by my house.
And Blue Bench, right, or something like that. Was it? Dude, those were gnarly.
They were sick. Dude, we just followed
Yeah.
these locals down the trail and they were like 25, 30 miles an hour, maybe that fast. I don't
Yeah.
know, but like they were like 40-foot gaps. Dude, we were just
Sick.
hitting them blind.
Yeah, that's like a whole like sub community of like private guys that go and build
Dude.
those jumps. Like,
Well, and you
woods.
introduced us, so all those dudes were so good to us, and we've done a lot of things together. We've traveled a lot of states, hopefully out of the country soon. But the most fun thing you've ever put me on is mountain biking in
Dude.
fucking Utah.
It's so fun.
It's
I
life
want to
changing.
come back so bad to just do that.
It's
What
life
we
changing.
what we need to do is actually just do a trip and go to Rampage at some point and something
Dude.
to.
I'm down
To go watch?
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
watch.
So I say I ain't going down that
No,
shit.
no. That
I need a
is
motor.
like beyond.
When is that on?
It's usually like in early October, I think.
We could nearly swindle that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're cool, you can like bring your e-bike as long as you're not making a fool out
Like
of
cruise
yourself.
around.
Yeah. But that event is insane to go.
Dude,
in person.
Rampage, I would probably rather you take me to a base jump and not give me any guidance and let me just jump and figure it out than go down one of those rampages.
Oh, I wouldn't even,
100%.
wouldn't even
Kidding me?
entertain it. Wouldn't even entertain it.
I'd
Those
rather
guys
jump
are,
out of the plane, no parachute, and him grab me and pull the parachute, than go down the Rebel
That
Rampage.
shit's insane.
Those guys are bonkers.
Kyle
Bonkers.
Straight's my favorite Rampage rider, and not because he does crazy shit, but his lines are just like so unique, and he's going down a cliffside.
Dude.
It's so sick.
Let's
So sick.
go back a minute. How did you guys meet? All of you.
That's crazy.
Like
Foley and I have met, I think, like way back in the day in San Diego.
Probably.
Like,
For just,
that's like
way back
whatever
in the day.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
before like the
15 years
stunt
ago,
stuff.
yeah.
But kind of fast forward like everything. So like
What were you guys doing 15 years ago?
Same shit we're doing now.
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
You know,
being
with a bag.
responsible, being responsible.
Scumbag.
No, but like
How
kind
did we
of.
even get so?
I remember.
Well, yeah, but it was Utah. It was that
Correct.
the rained out show that Holden.
We went to Utah to support the boys.
Right. But
Well, it was kind of it was like a weird storm. So like I did all this action sports stuff for a long time, and
no one knows that about you.
Yeah, because
That's
I don't really like talking about myself. You know, like I used to go and compete in Europe, do all these things. Like I used to work, and then I started to work a lot of production stuff too. Like I've worked at X Games, done all these things, worked for this big tour in Europe with big mountain free ride events. Did all this, not it was webcasting at the time, on air talent, you know, commentating, all these things. But I always loved motorcycles. You
Yeah.
know, my parents way back in the day when I was a kid, I had a DT 125. I used to rip.
Sick.
Yeah,
That's
so
sick.
sick. Then KX, 250, like ripping that thing too, and all that stuff. didn't take it like super serious, but obviously like I always gravitated to motorcycles, always wanted to do stuff. Whenever I could get my first Harley, I did, which is probably like back when we met, probably like mid 2000s, which is wild.
What was your first Harley?
I actually had a Sporty, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And then
Bolt. What was your first Harley?
Sporty.
yeah, Sporty. Yeah.
Seth, what was yours? What year?
06, I think. 06
Yours
Sporty.
was like a
A 79. I had a 79 Ironhead. Then I went to a Sporty S, and then I went to an 08 Sporty.
I
Really?
just remember
And
you
I-
and your purple Sporty, dude.
I had
It's
the Dyna.
fucking
I had a Dyna the whole time. though.
sick.
Yeah. And then I went straight into a Dyna and then started by X.
Do you still have that Dyna?
Yeah.
Which is that the red one?
Yeah, the red and gold one. They
Yeah.
used to be just all black.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so you started getting into Harley in the early 2000s.
Yeah. We'll get back on track here. So, all the Harley stuff, loved it. Kind of got a grasp from being down here in San Diego and everything of like what was going on. I was like, holy shit! Like there's something special and serious going on with Harley stuff for sure, and it's always been there, but not in the younger scene, you know. And at the time, this was 2014, 15, and I was like, the guys that did it, you had the Forefather, you had the Pullins, you had all those guys doing it that kind of kept the thing alive, and then here comes Unknown. And Unknown, more or less, they capitalized and they commercialized like the Harley stunt stuff. And those guys are the G's for sure. And I was like, man, that's awesome. And at the time, I was like, I'm going to make a t-shirt brand. I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm going to have a website that's going to feature Harley wheelie stuff. And there wasn't a lot of stuff going on at the time. So I came up with this whole ride and destroy concept. And I'm in Utah and I approach a dealership. We do a little pop-up shop. I have hats and shirts and everything. And I was like, what do you guys think about doing like a stunt show? And they're like, oh, well, we've had Rob Carpenter come. That guy, amazing.
Gangster,
Unreal.
OG.
OG.
One of
Is
the
that
sickest handbrake
Rob
riders.
One Wheel.
Yeah, Rob Carpenter. Yeah.
More talent in
And,
his finger than all three of us.
So I was like, that's awesome, but there's something different going on. Like no disrespect to handbrake stuff or anything. Like, there's something different going on in the streets. And I convinced them. I said, okay, listen, I know a couple guys because at that time I was spending a lot of time in Phoenix, and I knew Dan Dreyer that started Dixon, and through that I met Tallboy and Dom, and I was like, and those guys are doing some shows in Phoenix, and I was like, let's try to bring these guys up to Salt Lake. And the agreement with Salt Lake Harley was, well, you bring your guys, we'll bring our guy, we'll see how it works. So we have Rob Carpenter, we have Tallboy and Dom. Rob Carpenter gets hurt. He broke his hand like a week before the event. And they're like, well, we need more guys. So I don't know exactly how it went down. I think maybe Joey and I were DMing or something like that.
No,
No, we weren't even supposed to ride.
It was Holden rode for Dixon. So you guys brought in Holden, and then Holden was bringing his buddy.
Was that what it was?
That's what I remember. Doesn't mean it's what it was.
Yeah, but I remember we were DMing a little bit. I know for sure Tallboy and Dom were coming, and we had a flyer with Tallboy back on his fender, and they was losing their mind. That was taken in the Dixon parking lot, and then Holden for sure was coming, and was it
Ginger Wheelies.
Ginger
Yeah,
Wheelies
yeah.
were coming.
Tyler Hook.
Yeah,
He
they
still
were.
rides.
Yeah,
Still does
they
wheelies.
were
Kills
coming
it.
up. And then I don't remember who it was, but I think maybe you DM'd me or Phil did or somebody and said hey, we want to come up from San Diego. And then all of a sudden here comes this San Diego crowd. So we have Tallboy on site, Dom on site, Ginger, Holden, and then here comes all the crew with a landscape trailer, a pickup truck.
We still have that trailer.
Yeah. And you had what? You had you two.
You had a
AJ.
forklift trailer.
Yeah.
No.
Sully. Sully was with you. You had Josh Crunk.
I don't think Sully was with us. It was
No.
AJ, Twisted Bullies, Foley, Phil, Kylie was with us,
Crazy.
and
And then Phil showed up, but he rode.
he
was-
rode there on his bagger
He
with
was
his
going-
dad
he was
on the
going
way to
He was
Sturgis.
going to Sturgis, and we were
No way.
we were doing a stunt show on the side lot of Salt Lake Harley where you guys have ridden, and all of a sudden here comes a little Phil on this freaking maroon bagger and just starts ripping in. Wow.
Shredding.
Just
And-
drifting and stuff.
Yeah, just getting wild, and we're like, man, something really cool is happening. And then that year, that was it for the shows, but we all kind of connected there. We all hung out. I think Cruzy came up too,
Which
I
was
think
the
I
first
can't-
paycheck I
Did you
ever
send me that
received.
video? Or that
I
was
think I did.
separate?
Wild in
No,
the Streets,
the
that
Wild in
song?
the Streets. Yeah,
That's that video.
yeah. We did two shows. We did a Friday night at one of the dealerships in South Salt Lake, and then we did a day show at the dealership that you've been to.
Dude, I don't even think we were supposed to ride. It rained. Ginger
No,
Wheelies
and they got-
high-sided. He was out. Whole
No, they got stuck in the storm. And I remember, dude, you taught me a lot in this moment because you purposely went out of your way to make sure it was cool with them. And then, bro, I'm 19. So I'm putting a
give a
rut
fuck.
in the sidewalk, walking up and forth. And they're like, hey, you can ride too. And it just,
You're on your Bolt.
Yeah, and
was that the show that you're trying to drift? You couldn't figure it out, and Tallboy's like, "Yo, come down to the lot." And him and Tallboy went down. Was that show?
Yeah.
Him and Tallboy went down to the lot. Tallboy drifted it, and Joey was watching. He's like, "All right," he figured it out in like 5 minutes down the lower lot.
Well, I was bitching that my bike couldn't drift, and Tyler's like he was cool. He's like pulled me aside. He's like, "Dude, watch this," and just drifted the fuck out of my bike. But that was the first time ever fully, and I saw even $1 for doing what we loved, and it was because Max put us on.
Yeah, it was wild. It was crazy too because I was trying to figure out how to do it, and I knew that Salt Lake really wanted to have Rob Carpenter there or One Wheel, and then he got hurt, and it kind of opened up the door, And I actually, believe it or not, before like we all started to conceptualize everything, I actually reached out to the booking people for Unknown and being like, what would it be to like have these guys come? Like they're all over the internet. Like what's going on? Yeah. And I saw the number, and I was like, whoa, that's wild. Okay, people are actually like charging a pretty hefty penny for this. Like, how can we do something like this? And all of a sudden we have 10 stunt riders. Some we've heard of, some we didn't. Like Instagram was really new at that time. That was 10 years ago. I think it was 2015 or 16.
Yeah, and shout out Buddy Subtle, dude. Since like 2016, that dude's answered my DMs and just been always
super humble.
Dude, he's been so good to me. Shout out Buddy Subtle, but knowing like
it's so funny because like they've locked it down so well, and they literally don't ride over their heads. They take it super easy, and so many people like, oh, I can do that, or I'm better at this or that. Little do they know, like, if those boys took it to the next level, how good they are on their
Buddy Subtle could circle wheelie a Harley in one weekend if he had to.
Yeah, they're so sick.
They're all talented, but they have a real show. Like, it's an actual show. It's not just going out and...
It's choreographed. Yeah. It's badass.
It's nice to watch. Like, I've watched plenty of their shows, and they have it pretty figured out.
Oh yeah, they set the whole standard. Like,
so that was the vision you saw, and then here comes all these East County degenerates.
Well, yeah, but it was, and even in that weekend, in that moment, it was like the power of social media. What was happening in Harley's? Because even then it was new, it was super new. I mean, right now it's on fire, and it still is. But like in 2015. Crazy. And so we did Salt Lake 2 days, and then I peeled off. Did you guys come to Sturgis? I don't think you did. I went to Sturgis because
not that year yet.
Yeah, believe it or not, it was.
You went from right.
Yeah, I went from that. I had an opportunity because Jesse Rook, which rest in peace, he was the man. He was the grand marshal for Sturgis rally, and he gave Dan Dreyer from Dixon and myself like a vendor spot, like right there in LaSalle. So I went out to LaSalle, and then here we go. Like, we just did shows in Salt Lake. I'm on LaSalle right across from the Harley build out, and who's doing shows the whole time? Unknown. And I was like, man, these guys are killing it, And then just kind of kept wrapping my head around it and everything and doing shows. And, we went around, we've done a handful of shows and then had a bunch of opportunities. And then it started, I'm not going to say it got stagnant, but
there was so many of us.
It blew up.
We had a pretty big group riding shows.
Well, we were young, dude. So like, if it wasn't Tallboy and Teen, I had each other's neck. It was Dom and I had each other's neck, and then Phil and Foley. Like but we were kids, dude. Like, it was hard, and he was trying to basically corral a bunch of animals, and you're right. It got stagnant. You know what I mean?
It wasn't necessarily stagnant, but like the only way I can relate to it, and like now I'm gonna show my age, but like if you've never seen like Lords of Dogtown, or if you've ever seen Dogtown and Z-Boys, like I felt like I was the Skip. And I was like, I saw these talent, all these guys, and like something new, and it was like breaking ground. And it was like, how do you corral this and try to like ride the wave with everyone? And like, I couldn't be happier to see like what's happened, because you guys are doing your thing now with Senders. You got like the Cowboys doing a whole bunch of stuff. Unknown is still in the game. Like East Coastin is emerged and blown up. And like, they've either come through the pipeline or we've worked together at some point, and it's rad. And that kind of came the whole Brawl thing. Even before like all that happened, like, we're trying to do stunt shows. People start undercutting each other. The sport starts blowing up. You're trying to get booked stuff. And it's like, well, how can we get everyone together and try to have like, who's the dude for the day? And like, we did a Brawl. We kind of conceptualized it in Sturgis in 2017, I want to say, like at the Chip. And then that's kind of where like Bell Helmets came into the play. And I was like, hey, like there's an opportunity to come in on this Brawl thing that we're thinking of. We're like literally scratching notes at the Wild Horse or Iron Horse, like trying to figure things out on a napkin. Like, how can we do this? And like, how can we get guys together? And my big thing was, let's get 20 guys together that are the best in the game. Maybe the people don't know them yet, but they don't pay. They can win some money, have a good time, make it safe. And it allows brands to come in to support it, because a lot of brands at the time, like people like Harley and everything that are so corporate, didn't want to start to share all the content online because everyone's riding within their abilities on the street and doing legal things, right? But Yeah, so that was like how all the Brawl stuff came together. Like we talked with Bell and we're like, hey, let's start doing a stunt contest thing. And at the time it was wild. The first one we did, like I really wanted to, I didn't want to narrow it down to, okay, no handbrakes. We're going to do all this new school stuff going on. But I kind of wanted to keep it that way. But at the time there wasn't a ton of people. So again, like Rob Carpenter came, you know, and he's like the best of the best. And he didn't win. And I know he was not happy. In hindsight,
dude, so like Rob is riding, but you have to remember there's guys like Reckless and
was
Seabear
there,
and like those guys, and like don't get me wrong, like it's funny because like Jeff could get on a bike with the handbrake and like not do everything Rob's doing, but like compete, you know. But it's two different riding styles, you know. It's like controlled, the most like controlled, sickest shit you've seen, and then you got just the Reckless on the fence about to blow the whole fence down. You know? So like I get both sides of it, you know. But it's funny because I remember like. Look at Rob. Rob doesn't seem like a man of like many emotions, you know. But you could just see it and like what, you know, because imagine the amount of work he's put in and like the miles he's put down and like on the hours insane. On his bike, you know. So
there was a lot of backlash on that. Poland wasn't happy about that, and a lot of the street bike riders were very vocal about it. Like
because he didn't win.
Yeah,
and is that the first ever Brawl?
That was the first Brawl.
Who was judging that one? Do you remember?
You've never judged one, Max?
I haven't.
Yep.
That was early, man. I want to say like Aaron from Suicide Machine was a judge.
That was back when people did like I'll put it out there. They just necessarily it was about getting clout to the event, right? We needed it to pop, so Max was using famous people to judge. And they didn't necessarily know what they were looking at, but that almost made it better because it was just about who went out and was the best entertainer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
Yeah.
I think was Stephanie Pete's a judge? She might have been that time. I can't remember. I know Aaron for sure was, and I want to say maybe Carrie was at that time too.
Yeah,
I think we roped Carrie Hart.
Who do you think the coolest judges you had come on stage?
I mean, bro, Carrie Hart. Are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
When they
like you know
told
what I mean?
Hey, Carrie Hart's gonna judge you on your bike. I was like,
Twitch has done it.
Yeah, Twitch did a few.
Who else did you have on there? Big B was on there.
But Twitch is so rough on us. Like that was harder for me because he knew what I could do, so he would just score me so low. I'm like, you faggot.
Which is
SDC guys.
Yeah, SDC guys.
They really
Josh,
came through.
what's his name? Races.
Not
What America?
Heron.
Josh Heron. Yeah, Heron's been a judge.
Like, you've had a lot of sick people.
Smash stunts.
Yep, a lot of like
you guys.
A lot of qualified people.
Yeah, you know, maybe some not so qualified people, but yeah, like that was how the first Brawl really happened. Was just like, okay,
there was backlash. You put this awesome event on.
There's always backlash.
There's always backlash.
If there isn't backlash, you ain't doing it right.
I know. There's always, and it wasn't crazy backlash, but it was wild too because it's like we didn't really have a lot of money to finance it. I want to say that like we paid people with like gift cards, you know.
There still
like,
isn't.
There really isn't. There really isn't. Well, that's funny because I talked to some of the new guys and like, you know, like some of the guys in Utah, and they're like, "Oh man, like back in the day when there was a $10,000 prize purse." I was like, "I wasn't there. When did that happen?" You know. But we've always tried to make it as good as we can, you know, and to pay $2,500 to a first place guy and pay nearly a $5,000 prize purse to the top 5, like it's been a task, but I mean, you're out there riding for 4 minutes total, and you might win $2,500. It's
crazy.
Yeah,
I still believe there's potential for it to get bigger.
Oh, I fully agree, and I would love it for it to be that way.
So, like, how long has the Brawl been going on now?
Started in 17.
8 years.
And, like, we had, you know, a friendship before the Brawl, and like the amount of emotions that have gone through it. Like, how many times we talk, like, fuck, I don't know if we can keep doing this.
Yeah.
Or, like, dude, is it even worth it? Or, you know, and it's happened every single year since, at least 3 events a year.
Oh yeah, and like that was like since 17. You know, we've always tried to do like 3 a year if we can, maybe more. But as like Bell came in, it was awesome for a few years, and you know, shout out to them. They really kind of elevated everything with all that stuff. And then, you know, as bright as a light can shine, it can get turned off, and that's what happened. You know, things happened, and going into a year, it was like the biggest year. We're like, we're going to Daytona Bike Week, or we're going to go to the Speedway.
I'm spewing that I wasn't around for that.
Yeah,
Who won Daytona?
Oh,
Who was that?
it was you, wasn't it?
What did they do?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, this guy killed it that day.
I heard he rode good. I was watching the video.
Yeah.
That was my best, dude. We got to go to Florida, and like, I'll just be selfish.
At the Supercross track,
Yo,
it's
and
like
all the boys, Jeremy, everyone was riding shows 100 feet away from
Yeah.
us.
This is the biggest
Unknown
Brawl,
was
in my
riding with
opinion. The
Yeah.
biggest
the crowd is crazy.
Wild.
And something just clicked. It's like the only way I could explain it is I was the fucking train car, and we were on the rails, and we had just got greased, dude. It just, oh fuck, my bike was super ugly. Looking back, fucking root beer
orange.
shit
It was-
brown
oh, it
with
was brown
orange
and
logos,
orange, yeah.
but Shout out Kiwi. He made that
He
come
did
through
that
for
in
me.
like 2.5 hours.
Literally. Like I bodied my bike the weekend before we were about to leave, but Daytona was really sick for me. But sorry, back on topic.
No, that was a good one. But that was like, that's when I knew the light was flickering with Bell, and I was like, oh man, let's see what. And then like at that point, like we had Corporate Harley kind of playing with it, and I was like, oh man, that's amazing. You know, like we're there on the footprint. We're at Supercross day of at Daytona
Crazy.
Speedway. Monsters doing their activation with Jeremy and all the boys. It was just chaos. Everyone was there at once. I was like, dude, this is wild. Like this wave is freaking going. And then we did Sturgis that year, which you came, and that was awesome, and a few others. And then you got to play it as it goes. And, you know, you get so excited that you have some brands coming in and helping you. And then all of a sudden, like, next year, yeah, we just can't do it.
Can we
know?
put out there what Harley's only complaint was?
Joey had like 10 pounds of weed in the pits, dude.
Yeah, they said this tall idiot won't stop smoking blunts. No, it was.
So was
that
weed not legal
was-
there yet?
Their complaint, their one single complaint, it was too big. It
Too
was too
wild.
busy.
It was
It
too,
was pretty
too
wild.
sick.
It was
So
pretty
wait,
wild.
we
The crowd was crazy. It's in the intro video that I.
we
The
did
crowd,
exactly what we were supposed to do, but that's the problem.
It
So
was,
it's
you know,
hard.
again, like circling back, like the boys that really have like really spearheaded being professional and all that stuff, like Nikki and Buddy and all them that do all these unknown stuff. Like that's what Harley had been exposed to. And we had all these meetings, and I was like, you don't understand what's going to happen. We have 20 guys with 10 homies.
Are willing to die.
Here comes Baby T in his Sprinter van.
Yeah, and like,
Pretty much
like
drive through the
we'll
bench.
corral the best that we can, but you know, it's, I mean, they're very suit and tie, and they're an amazing company, and love the bike, everything. But like, they play by the rule books, and all of a sudden we come in, it's like the bad news bears came in, and we did as best as we could. But again, you know, you have people jumping barricades and getting
Fuck,
so
I
excited.
think we did pretty good.
We did.
Lawyers don't care about being cool.
No.
Let's be
No,
honest.
But yeah. Thanks, Baby T, for trying to run over a security guard with a Sprinter van.
We still love you, buddy.
Yeah.
We still love you. You're my
Yeah.
boy.
He was just in Salt Lake. I saw he was at the Swarm. But
Such a good kid.
But
Such a good
but
kid.
yeah, long story short, like that's been like kind of like the evolution of the whole Brawl thing, and then like it continues on. Like I, you know, like there's highs, there's lows, but I've always been, even with like the big corporate brands being a part of it, and then once things like kind of fizzle a little bit, I was like, I'm so passionate about continuing it on, even if it is a couple events a season. Like I want to produce the events, I want to give the riders a platform, and even now, as people have grown, like the East Coasting guys have kind of morphed out to go do their own thing, and they're killing it. You got the cowboy thing going on, you got you guys doing stuff. I still wanted to be a foundation and be proud of the fact that people came through it. They're going on, and some guys still come back. You know, like we did Arizona Bike Week 2 months ago, and Jesse Ryan came back.
Dude,
and
and Dom wrote it. That was so
yeah,
cool.
and like Dom comes back and stuff like that. It should be an open door policy like that, because all these guys that are in the gate now are looking up to everyone else.
That's what. That's where I started. Like,
Yeah.
I met you from a Brawl. It's honestly crazy. Like the way I see it is that you gave a bunch of stunt riders that were young an opportunity to ride, and then they got sponsors to get there and get paid, and then it continued for them.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like you started something, honestly,
You
that a
were
lot of people would be thankful for.
You were my first relationship in the V-twin world where I noticed that the doors were opening from both ends, right? Like there were so many doors that you opened up for us, and then there were so many doors that fully continued to open up for everybody. You know what I mean? Like it was just like that first situation where like I just wanted to keep going because everyone was doing the same for each other. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah.
So with the Brawl continuing, maybe some new locations popping up, what's next?
We just had this conversation earlier today. I mean, obviously we're here in San Diego, so we did Arizona Bike Week this year, and now I'm gonna say a big shout out to like Cruzy and Motoculture and all that stuff. That was a pretty cool, unique event to be a part of.
Was hard.
That was, and you
But
know,
it was
Very
cool.
mature way to say it because
Yeah.
I wanted to say something.
well,
else
I was
about
gonna
the
say
lot.
shout out to Cruzy and those guys for the awesome event, and then also kind of dog them a little bit because that lot was very difficult. But
rough.
Wow.
San Diego right now into May, which is going to be amazing. We've been here, like, God, was it 7 years, I think, in running? I think the only year we've missed is COVID.
Proud of that.
Yeah. I mean, this place is like a foundation and like where things really started. I really could say. I mean, obviously we did our first Brawl in Sturgis, but like the whole scene and the lifestyle of what's going on in the Harley scene, I feel is a Southern California based deal. And then after that, we're talking, but I can't like officially announce.
Yeah, that's cool. But
Yeah.
there's more events coming, right?
Might be a
This isn't-
rally here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Never
This isn't
know.
the last one for the year.
I can't say that. The plan is no.
No.
The plan is no.
There's
No,
not a
no.
contract signed though. You're not getting it out of Max.
Yeah. Unless there's something written on paper, I know, and all this, but like,
It's a smart way to be.
I mean, well, let me put it this way: there's a place that we've gone in the past that's always big for us. We haven't been there in a few years, and it'd be great to go back.
Let's try and make that happen.
it'd be cool to see it near like a jump or something.
So would you ever take it global?
I would love to. There was talks about doing that.
I've got a spot in Australia that you could do it, and I know at
It's
least
sick.
20 people that would come
Yeah.
in Australia, and I know a couple guys.
20 spectators, awesome.
No, there's spectators. So we've got a racetrack because I'm starting Bagger Racing League Australia, and they have a full drift stunt lot right next to the track. And it's like, I know the guy that runs it, and we should definitely try to do one because if you promoted coming to Australia, I know all these kids that have wanted to come here but can't afford it, can't buy the bike and do all that, and kind of blow your mind on, like, there's some talent back there.
Well, that's what's crazy. I mean, other than Canadian guys, I mean, Australians have always shown up.
Who's
Which
that
is
kid
wild.
that just came out for AZ on the
Harry,
black bike?
Harry?
Dude,
Yeah.
he's
Gnarly.
so
He
sick.
rips back home. He didn't have a good one. He obviously
could
was
just
nervous.
tell.
Well, it's
though.
funny. It's a perfect example. I'm not taking anything away from him, but how many good riders have you invited? This dude's sick. They get in your lot, and they're just a fucking wreck, dude.
Me, I've done that a couple times.
I mean, we've all done it, but it's funny. And dude, that kid rips
Double hand drag on points.
with
so,
style.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why I like the comps.
Yeah.
It's
It really brings out the best of the
it's
rider.
humbling
and
for
the worst.
everybody.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild. And I mean, even conceptualizing like how, I mean, you can say do the comps, but like, okay, how do you do it? You know, do you do a rider judge thing? Like, obviously the rider's going to talk to themselves, but to actually corral everyone and get points from a rider judge thing, unless you're like pulling straws, like we came up with a judging criteria and it's evolved. We changed it again this year, which is rad. And then, you know, picking the right judges to be there in the spot, and 3 of them, and kind of doing like an overall judge there. Where
Let's go back to 09 when you have to text in.
Dude,
Text in.
Yeah, like when Twitch was winning every best whip, but wasn't doing the best whip.
Because he's just a favorite rider.
Yeah.
we've entertained doing stuff like that, but that's the thing. Like all of a sudden it becomes a popularity vote.
It is, 100%.
You know, and
is.
like, you know, I don't want to dog some of the guys, but there's like guys like Dyna Nate. He's a savage. Doesn't have like the following on social as some other guys do. And like, I would hate to see someone like Nate get put out because somebody that has 250,000 followers is getting the votes.
No, but we've talked about this on past podcasts. You know, go watch Formula Drift, go watch all of that. The dude that wins isn't ever the dude that you thought it was going to win. That's how Judge Sports worked. Just respect them and be stoked.
Yeah,
to
if
be
you
a
want to
part
go
of it.
race, go around a racetrack, and that's as fast as you can go.
And
but
they
this
have
stuff,
that now with Slide GP. So if you
Yeah,
want to
if
go
you-
race, go race.
If
Yeah.
you love it,
Yeah.
it gives you the opportunity to do what you love. There's so much more than just a coming and winning. You know, you get to see your friends, you get to work with companies. Like it's
Yeah.
so much more.
How many
than-
brawls did you and I ride, even being at our level, before we even started winning them?
Oh, bro.
Countless.
I think it took me 2 years.
Yeah, to get on the podium, and then something clicked for you, and then you just
Right.
started racking off podiums. You know,
Yeah.
whereas me, it was a little easier to get on the podium, but it was harder to do what I wanted to do. So then I would fuck myself and end up in 4th or 5th trying to do shit I wasn't ready to do. Like it's a testimony to yourself. Like it
I have
doesn't
not
matter.
figured it out.
Well, it's
I
funny.
don't ride enough.
When you asked me for all the content and all that stuff to send over for this, I was digging through and like you kind of see who's like kind of come and gone and who's been there the whole way. And I was like looking at some of them and I was like, man, I feel like a dick. I was like, Corey was at here, because he was in that 5th place spot. And then it clicked, you know. And
It
now-
clicked good
yeah,
for him.
Now
Yeah,
he's the guy to beat.
yeah.
He is.
Corey's like the man. But I was like, I even looked at Daytona specifically with you in 1st and like Pauly Drags is up there in 5th. And I was like, oh shit, Corey was in 4th. I forgot about that.
But I'll say Corey wasn't entertaining yet, and now Corey is
He went
a
home
through
put
and
in
through
the work,
entertainer,
it just
dude.
clicked like that, boy.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
one of my
Killing it.
favorite to watch, especially in a stunt show. The comps are cool, but everyone's doing everything they know how. But when you watch Corey entertain, it's next level. It's next level.
I like
Yeah.
that Corey doesn't like to hit the barricades on purpose. That's always my.
Yeah, how much did that last one cost
Jesse
you?
Ryan, Dinah Nate, Andy 76.
Yeah. It doesn't really cost me much. It's just really.
It's not that cool of a trick.
No.
You just get in the moment.
Yeah.
And we've all grown up watching drift cars, and that's the sickest point of the drift car, you know?
I just get more upset because all the PA systems in between there, and I was like, man, if somebody knocks over the speakers as it's happened, it's
Those
gonna
are
get
affordable,
expensive.
though, right? It's
Yeah.
cheap stuff.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
super cheap. But to go back on it, yeah, we're working on some more dates for this.
That's
season.
cool.
Yeah.
What would your dream brand to collab with to keep this going be? Who would that be?
Who would make a
I mean,
dream?
It
Yeah.
happened, didn't it? Not to speak for you, but
Which one?
You trying to talk about yourself?
HD Daytona.
that's me.
No, Centers
Harley.
only.
Yeah, never heard of him. Harley. You know,
That was amazing. I wish. I mean,
would you wish that could still happen? Would make your life a lot easier.
You know what would make his life a lot easier?
Tell.
I need to
$1 million.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
We wouldn't
Well, that's the
be. We've
thing.
been doing that. We'd be in the Bahamas.
sorry, I fucked that question up.
Yeah.
Like I never
No,
said anything.
no,
What's
no,
your dream brand to
No,
collab with?
no, I agree. Selfishly, I think God, that's a hard one. I mean, selfishly, it'd be some big buy-in company that would want to come in and take it, like, and that
And
would
believe in it. I think someone who would believe in it.
I
Yeah.
mean, for the riders, just standalone riders, put politics and everything aside and what's going on. I mean, I would love to see brands like Harley still involved in it because it's not a grassroots thing. It's the early 20-somethings. I mean, there's even kids. I mean, there's a guy up in Idaho, Van. I don't know if you've seen him yet. He's 17 years old and he's crushing it on a
he
dyno.
was 15.
Okay, maybe he's 15.
I don't even think he had his license.
Sorry, Van. All right, so
Was he in Arizona?
Is that the one that
He
was, said he
was.
was riding his
I
bike
seen
to
him
school,
pull up.
wheeling, and he's
Yeah.
getting in trouble?
yeah, but he's got a dyno and he crushes it and
That's crazy.
killing it. And like that's the future. Like
And that
you
wouldn't
guys-
be there without the Brawl. You won't say that, but I will.
But with that being
100%.
said, like it's a lifelong buy-in for Harley to see this, like what's happening. Even the early 20-somethings that are buying these clapped out, 2001 dynas that stunt them out. Like you're a lifelong customer, and I would love to have Harley involved and be full
We
head
would
first
follow
into
a
it.
couple of your rules.
Yeah,
Just
and
a couple.
It was an honor to work with them. Who knows? It would be great to like circle back maybe and do some stuff with them. And I know there's so many things going on, and like obviously like the racing side of things has taken off a bag of racing and all that.
That's why I think this isn't over. I think it's kind of just beginning again because we've got so many cool people that are willing to work together. We've got so many people that want to bring more things in to entertain.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to start again.
yeah, I would have to say that.
Yeah. It might not be something crazy straight away, but with all of what we are doing and bringing more people in and getting more venues and more people excited and
Well, when you
Yeah.
rebranded, right? Next gen is such a refreshing thing for me to read. And I'm gonna hear next gen, and then here's all these kids. I mean, fuck, dude, the Arizona stunt scene alone will fill up the whole
That's
Brawl,
huge.
which
Yeah.
is crazy. And then you got all these Minnesota kids that are now murdering it, and then Florida's always been a hot spot, and then you got California. Like the next gen thing is gonna be what's selling it because they want to come to these events, and regardless, I'm not like as humble as I can say, they want dudes like us watching them ride. And we're going to continue to support the Brawl because of where it's taken us, right? So it's their opportunity to come show the dudes that they look up to, the Foleys, the Gabes, all these guys, this is what I can do, and it's sick. And then they can create friendships with dudes they've only seen through their iPhone. So this
Yeah.
next gen like rebrand thing is just music to my ears because that's where it needs to go.
We need to get the purse up and get picky on the riders. Yeah. Yeah.
so
I mean, in a perfect world, I mean, I've talked about it in the past. It'd be amazing to have 4 or 5 events that are like your marquee events, and then you have like a feeder event that goes into it, but it all comes down to financing. And I think you guys would probably look at me cross-eyed to do what I do for the minimal amount of money to make it happen, and still like pony up a $5,000 prize purse.
people don't understand. You're not out there making it.
No,
bank.
and that's always been a huge conversation where everyone's like, "Oh, he's just killing it out in walking," and I was like, "Come on, man."
Yeah, we'll put that to rest right now. This dude spent more of his own money that he's made from the winter events to help you kids, and now a grown-ass men that have turned
But
it into...
if I wouldn't be driving 14 hours through the night with my dogs in the back seat,
napping in the front.
yeah, napping in the front just to like make something happen for San Diego, because I truly am very passionate about it. I think it's an amazing thing. But yeah, the next gen thing is what's going on right now, and seeing like through social media and how much it continues to blow up. I mean, it's definitely the wave hasn't flattened out. I mean, it's for sure there.
I wouldn't be in this room today if I didn't go to the Brawl in Sturgis. That's where I met you. That's where I met you.
Well, that was funny too, because
I only just got in.
Yeah, Sam was gonna come out and he
Exactly.
whacked his noggin.
Yep. And then
Then, believe it or not, you know who hit me up to get you in?
who was it?
It was CJ.
Yeah, that's right.
And then CJ was like, "Gotta let him in, man. We're gonna go to Australia and party with this guy."
That's still gonna happen.
And that was it. I was like, "He's in." Sam's out, and that was 100%. And then look at this. Now you're stuck in.
Now we're stuck in San Diego.
Now you're in East County hanging out.
Exactly.
But
I wouldn't have it any other way. It's been a hell of a ride, and it's crazy to think that I actually chased my dream and come and did this. So, but yeah, like literally, would not have happened if there was no Brawl.
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's
to think
crazy.
about, you know what I
It's
mean?
crazy. I know. And like seeing some of the guys that are getting more opportunities and all that stuff is awesome too.
Foley,
But-
what's your favorite Brawl when you look back? Like, what's, even if it like the answer changes, what's the first one that pops into your head?
I don't know what your Sturgis that was with Blake there. That was a good year downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown Sturgis is one of my favorite ones.
I was super bitter about that one.
Yeah. I think I got second or third that year.
Yeah, and I rode
Dude,
so good. I couldn't believe it. But you were on a sick
that
one.
lot was sick.
Best lot we ever had.
Yeah.
Dude, I think it was the vibe downtown. Or I think that was like one of our dreams. So that probably like, the second year in Sturgis, like watching the boys ride downtown and stuff. Just being able to ride down there.
How beautiful was that? 20 grown men that are all getting to live their dream together.
Right.
Because of this idiot.
Yeah.
Like just all at one time.
Was that kind of one of the last brawls that all of like the OG boys were together? Like
I think so.
You, Gabe, Jeff.
Yeah.
Some of like the.
I want to say that was Seabear's last brawl.
Is that that's the one I met you at?
That's the one that you went to, yeah.
Correct.
That lot was cool. I just,
Yeah.
The
It had, like,
sickest
I couldn't
parade
believe-
fully, like, it wasn't sealed.
I didn't know who Dynamite 8 was yet, and I seen him in the lot. I'm like, so you stunt ride?
Yeah.
It's like I just learned how to throttle hand drag, and he's doing that with his limiter in. And
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Longest
Bonkers.
scrape I've ever done.
Yeah.
It's on video,
Yeah.
that one. That's sick.
And again, fucking Zach got it in slow mo with the American flags.
HD semi parked right next to it.
It was a dream.
Like, it was a sick
Yeah, it was
setup.
wild.
Yeah.
It
Wow.
was wild. And I think you're right. I think that was like the last one that like everyone that kind of started with the brawl scene from the Sea Bears to the,
I'll put the photo up on the video of the podcast because there's a
Yeah.
photo of all of us.
all of us. Yeah, there's like 30 of us there.
Selfishly, that was a big moment for me because I was very upset. But then some other dudes were even more upset than me, and I saw how they were acting,
You're like,
and
I'm
I was
not
like,
that bad.
"Not gonna do that." My boy got second. You guys are dorks. Like,
Well, that's the hard thing too. Is like I bust my balls to make these things happen because I love it and I want to see like you guys excel and do all these things. And when it comes down to it, I'm not a damn judge. And
Yeah.
regardless of what people have said in the past, like we don't sit there and say, okay, well, Bell was that title partner at one time. Like these Bell guys have to win. That's never been a conversation.
God, man.
But like
So people think that because
I know it's a subjective thing. You're getting judged, and then of course people are gonna be upset if they don't win when they think they should have. And I always took the brunt of it, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. It's
you're used to it.
I'm used to it.
I've judged so many times now, and like looking from the outside in, and it's funny because like you can go out there and be able to do the sickest trick. You can go out there and have the sickest bike.
Yeah.
You can go out there but if you can't put together a good run, like
Yeah.
if you like say you hit one of your sickest tricks in your run, but you fucking you're drifting with shit, you missed two hand drags or whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's like I'm not biased at all, it's right in front of me. I
Yeah.
can see it happening, and I'm gonna be real about it.
And that's why we went back. I mean, we've evolved the judging a few times now, and then this year we kind of went down. Okay, instead of having 3 overall judges, we're gonna do a judge that basically is the drift criteria, and then you got a control guy, and then you have kind of a hype guy that allows to have a judge that could be a celebrity judge that doesn't necessarily know the sport, but they're counting how many times you drop your bike and your hype. But you have 2 judges that are straight technical guys that are really going to look at it and dissect it. And then, hell, here's your scorecards. This is where you came short. Here's where you excelled. And like I've always tried to be transparent about that, but not doing a live scored deal. Like we can't afford to do live scoring. I wish we could.
It's better off people not knowing what they got yet.
No, but then it's the scramble, last guy through the gate. Oh, let's go do scores and see what's going on and like see how it shook out. See if there was a hang up. Like there has been in the past. I'll admit that. Like, oh, okay, someone mismarked someone, and you're like, oh man, like that guy literally crashed his bike. Like, should like we got to look at that. And like that's a subjective side.
If I'm judging and you crashed both your runs, you're not getting on the podium. I don't care how sick your run was. If the bike touched the ground, you could have been doing the sickest thing and in the last 10 seconds wadded it. You're off the podium
if
my
you don't
sheet.
like it, go racing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you lost the race if you crash.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, it's been a wild ride, and like I hope to still continue it. And I think there's some awesome things like still coming up, and I mean, brands, it's the opportunity. Come on in. I mean, But here's the other thing too: is like we talk about the Harleys, we talk about the Bells, and all that stuff. But like, there's these brands that have Legend Suspension has supported like pretty much since day one. Couldn't do without them. Fueling's been the same way. We've had these brands that have come in and like really supported throughout the years. We have people come and go. We've had some newer brands come in to help out. Like TC Bros has come in the past 2 seasons, like helping out a ton. And we couldn't do it without the additional support. Like,
you got anyone else that you want to thank? Or is that the main guys?
My mom. You guys.
Shout out, Mom.
Yeah, Mom. No, I mean, there's been brands that come and go throughout the years. I mean, like Jasper Keys came in a few years ago. They're a clothing brand out of the Denver side of things. They've been fun to work with. Lexan has been a partner for years and helping us out. Shout out to all the locations that believe in it and want to have us back. Like San Diego Harley Davidson. I mean, we've been here, like I said, I think it's like 7 years in running or something like that. It's wild, and still coming back. And I don't know, all the riders. I mean, we couldn't do it without it. I know like it's hit or miss, and some people want to do it, some people don't want to do it. And like, hell, if you don't want to do it, totally get it. But I mean, we couldn't do it without the whole riders and the scene and the support of it.
Hell yeah.
Or the hate of it too. Why not?
The hate makes it awesome. It kind of makes it interesting to go.
I know.
Like,
And it's funny too how it comes full circle, because like you'll get a bunch of hate on it, and I like sit and look at it, and then all of a sudden like a year later, like, hey man, I want to come back in or do something.
We
I've
can
been
name
on
a few
both sides
people.
of it. You know, like,
He's done it.
yeah, I've been on both sides of it where
You
I
know?
told Max, I was like, hey, this isn't aligning with where I'm at in my journey, whatever you want to call it. And then I've had to eat my words and been like, man, I wouldn't be where I'm at without this. So it's time to like, you know, do the right thing here. But back then it confused me. Like back then I was like, why would anyone hate on this? And then the more I get into owning businesses and working with so many different like-minded people and not like-minded people, I realized like, bro, if someone's not hating, like we got to push a little harder. Like something's wrong here. Like if people aren't hating on what you're doing, you should probably do more of it. You know?
yeah. So what's some advice if some new kids want to get in and ride these brawls? Well,
Yeah. Why won't you reply to their DMs?
yeah.
I do. Come on, man. Sometimes you get that like stock. Hey, please reply to info at.
People commenting on
that's
your
been
posts.
the crazy thing too, because I mean, at the beginning there was only a handful of you, you know, and like it was a tight knit community.
Can't even make it through the list now.
You can't, you know, and it's even funnier when I have the start list and they have a real name and then their Instagram handle, and everyone's like, "That's their name." You know, like,
Stunts.
yeah, yeah. Like Nate Colvin, who the hell is that? Oh, that's Dinah Nate, by the way. It's hard. I mean, you have an amazing platform, which is social media, and you know, I don't want to say. I mean, it was really truly built on like the original OGs of like where we started, which was like the Senders crew, the East Coastin crew, and the Arizona crew and stuff like that, and like going off of referrals sometimes, you know, and saying like, hey, what's up with this guy? You know, like, am I going to lose more hair watching this guy on the course? Like, you know, because that's the other thing. I take liability on these things in my business, and that's a wild one.
Yeah.
You know, that's a wild
People
one.
don't understand how much you've got to spend to just get there, and insurance and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
there's
something Foley and I are proud of. Like when you hit us up, like, hey, can this guy ride or not? Like the fact that's even a question coming my way is like, all right,
yeah,
cool.
like there's some guys like I'll see myself, or like some like you know, you look at social media, you're like, damn, this guy's killing it. Like, have you ridden with him yet? Like, is it worth to put him, or should I say him or her, on the course? Because
Yeah.
we've had ladies involved too, you know. And I would just say, you know, whatever you do, ride within your abilities, and it's not the time to necessarily showcase things that you're not dialed in on yet. And that's the one thing I'll say going into the weekend.
Then learn how to drift. It's not
Yeah,
it's not a wheelie comp.
And
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
Show your face.
Yeah.
Come shake Max's hand.
Yeah.
Let him know who you
100%
are.
respect who puts it on. That's crazy.
Yeah,
People
everyone's-
don't have that anymore.
No, I mean, that's been like a couple other things. Like, I mean, a lot of guys have gotten better, but there's been like a lot of like all of a sudden I'm scratching people off a list, and like they're not showing up, and it happens multiple times, and then they get upset that they're not invited anymore. And I was like, well, there's 30 other people that want to come, you know, like what am I gonna do?
I feel like everyone that stunt rides really wants to have a go at it.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if it's just once.
yeah. And what's really cool about it right now, but it's harder for me, is that for the past few years, I always do tally score. I do an annual like kind of point system, and it kind of invites get, you know, issued from the previous season and how you placed. And then as people have kind of evolved out of it and gone to do some of their own things, all of a sudden you got this whole influx of new guys, and you're like, oh man, okay. But I still kind of use the point system from the previous year or the last event, issuing out to the first people, and then kind of wild cards, I would say, like to the next guys coming in. So we have a couple wild cards in San Diego. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited. So that's literally, this is going to be uploaded before the Brawl. We'll have this up tomorrow night.
Tomorrow,
Yep.
man,
Who's the wild cards? Do you know off the top of your head? Curious.
How many riders?
I think we got 17 right now.
Sick.
Cool.
Maybe 16. Somebody hit me up today. I'm gonna say when his lady had to go into surgery. Danny Quick might not make it.
Oh, I'll be bowling him tonight. What? Danny's got to come.
Well, I think his lady had like an appendicitis or something like that.
Oh, who's the wild cards?
Foley.
Foley. No, you got judges right here.
Are you
Um,
judging?
Yeah.
Sick.
Well, I mean, thanks to you guys, we got what? We got Papa John.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming in, San Diego guy.
Yeah, it's coming up. He couldn't barely ride 6 months ago. He's putting a lot of work.
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah, so he's doing it for the hometown team, and then Liam out of Salt Lake City is gonna make a go for
Is he?
it.
So
yeah.
pumped Liam's riding.
Yeah.
You know what he said to me on the phone this morning? He's like, "Yo, Max wants me to ride.
That's
what
a
do
Brawl,
I do?"
That's a Brawl employee.
I was like, "Well, Liam, you ride like that. If the founder of the fucking thing is telling you to ride."
Yeah.
He's so naturally talented, and screw that guy for that. But I mean, I met him through the ski side of things, and he bought a Harley like a year and a half ago, and he's hand dragging and going wild, and he's like 130
Sick. I
pounds,
love it.
soaking
He's got
wet.
style. Lots
And
of style.
yeah,
Oh,
but
so he's little. That's little. 130
He's
pounds.
tall.
Right?
He's tall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
he's like 150 pounds.
He's
I'll
like
go off kilos.
17-year-old me. He reminds me a lot of myself when I watch him ride. I'm like, all right, sick, dude. You got something here. You'll figure this out.
Yeah, he's crushing it. But like he's been helping me at these things when he can. And like, he was in Arizona helping, hanging Baroners, putting everything together. And like I was like, dude, come down here. Like, give it a shot. This is the place to do it, to give it a shot.
He's been working the Brawl since before he had a Harley.
Wow.
Correct.
And now he's got one. Dude, they hide out in they make like these, what do they call them? The little burrows during the winter events.
Allegedly.
And they're the skiers that go like rescue people.
Really?
So they're like chilling up on the mountain all day waiting for calls. So
They dig like a little snow cave by the start and chill out and self-medicate and wait for people
All
to
right,
fall.
now he said it, not me.
And
he's the skier that will drop down like the course and go
Just
get
getting
homeboy
medicated, then going to get you.
yeah.
to medicate you. Yeah.
No, he'd like pick up gear and retrieve stuff and stuff like that. Like he'll like have to like climb into an area where there's like a 30-foot cliff and there's a ski hanging off the top of it. And,
Hit this, bro. You'll be fine.
Brother.
yeah, only for the adult events, not the juniors. But yeah, no, I'm stoked that Liam's doing it. And then I'm trying to think who else we put in for a wild card.
Liam's a good guy.
I almost had one more guy from Salt Lake, but he can't make it work with work. But I think those are the two wild cards.
Dude, I'm gonna call him out. What the fuck, West?
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh yeah, that he was going to be the
West
other.
out west?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I
want him here
really
so
want to see
bad.
him ride a Brawl.
We need
Yeah.
you to come mop this shit up, dog.
It got extended, and I don't know. I think he's got to go back Midwest or something.
I think
don't
he's
know.
scared.
Fucking West, man. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
He must be scared.
He
But then-
headed west.
Trent and those guys are saying
Way out.
that he might be coming. So I don't know.
I hope he is.
I hope so too.
God, I hope so. I just want
He's going to kick my ass.
This is a good lot.
Yeah, Sporty on the podium. We need you, bud.
I think
When's
this
the last
is
time that happened? Phil?
Sporty
Dom.
on the
Probably
podium.
Dom?
No, he
No.
might have been on his dyno by then.
Yeah. Phil.
I couldn't even tell you, dude.
Poland on his sporty, or was he riding a dyno then?
He was on his Dyna.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Remember when Phil used to just fucking mop us like there was no tomorrow? Kid was
Wait,
like,
the last Brawl, there was 2 sporties on the podium.
huh?
Where?
In Arizona?
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
Arizona.
right.
Oh,
Yeah, Gino.
Gino and Miller.
Gino.
Yeah, Miller. Yeah,
Miller who?
fourth.
Never heard of her.
He's on his way.
Who's Miller?
Never heard of her.
Yeah, and they're both coming, but I think Gino's gonna be on his dyno.
Yeah, bring
Yeah,
your
cool.
dyno, Gino.
And
fucking-
how about that one? Because Gino used to do these back in the day, and then he kind of disappeared for a little bit. He's doing like the busted knuckles thing and everything, and he came back. And
I'm proud of him.
I'm not a judge, but dude, watching that guy ride in Arizona,
It was
I
he
like,
made it look fun.
dude, savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gino's gnarly. Cyrus
Yeah.
should have won Arizona.
Not a judge. It's, but Cyrus also crushing it. He'll be
Cyrus
here.
is coming.
Cyrus coming.
Yep.
Then we got
Yeah,
Travis.
so Cyrus, Gino, Travis, fucking. You have some
I wish I
Yeah.
rode more.
Corey's coming.
I'm excited to judge
Yeah.
because
I just want to watch, man. I'm stoked.
I mean,
it's been a
That's
rough
some
week,
talent.
and I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
Here. If you want to wait a second, let me see here. I can tell you who's coming and who's on the list.
Yeah, we got time.
You got time? All time in the world? I gotta find it. Talk about something else.
Might
Oh, we're gonna
might be
wait
a,
for
might
you.
be a little too late. The brawl's gonna be over by the time we post this.
You just said before.
I don't know.
Is it posted tomorrow?
I want to have it tomorrow night, and then we'll do a collab post on Instagram of like a preview.
Okay. All right, and no
Because that's the
specific.
only Instagram you use. That's the Ride and Destroy. That's your main Instagram you use. That's your social plug.
We
That
won't
we
talk
got.
about it.
Yeah,
the other one.
yeah.
He's got another one. You're not allowed.
But you're not allowed to
that.
look at that one.
Yeah.
Which one?
Your
Your personal one.
naughty
Oh, I don't even care about. Yeah, my OnlyFans one.
Yeah, you're naughty one.
My
Max,
Patreon.
Max getting
All right,
naughty.
let's
No,
hear- let's,
obviously I got the Ride and Destroy like _com one.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's the
everything
one
kinda
to follow.
Yeah. And then
People can start tagging you and stuff. They want to get seen.
100%. Yeah. And
That's
then
the best way.
There's a Brawl official one too, which was one that we made back in the day that evolved to that one. So that's kind of, we cross post on both of them.
Cool.
All right, let's
But
hear this list.
You want to hear the list?
Let's
All
go.
right, let's hear it. And I'm gonna do it in no specific order so people don't think. But you got Trick Bike Trent.
Is this the running order for Saturday? Is how it's going to go out?
In no
No.
specific order.
Yeah.
Stupid Aussie.
It might be backwards. All right, so you got Trick Bike Trent, you got Papa John, you got Cyrus Diaz, you got Jake Masters.
So I'm out 5th.
Yeah. You got Corey Desensky, Liam O'Reilly, Slaya out of Utah, Isaiah.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's been killing the streets. He's just got to
Ooh.
get to connect in a lot.
I didn't
Yeah.
know he was coming.
Yeah. You got Travis 211.
Sick.
He's fun to watch ride.
Yeah, and I guess he's kind of a wild card. He's never done one before either.
He's fun to watch do anything.
Yeah, Dinah Nate. You got Tub. Yeah, what is it? Dylan. I don't even know how to say his last name. I haven't talked to him, but he's like DB Rips on Instagram.
Yeah,
He's a sporty guy.
Shredder out of Arizona.
Yeah, Hooligan, Jordan Worrell, Gino,
Damn.
Sean Miller, and
This
then
is
Danny
a fire
Quick.
lineup.
Yeah,
It's pretty heavy.
It's going to be
That's
pretty
a
good.
sick.
It's going to be pretty good.
That's like
It's heavy.
that's a heavy lineup.
That's the good old days
Let's
right there.
let's get this posted tomorrow night to promote the riders there because I think some people need to come watch.
Corey,
Yeah.
Corey, it ain't gonna be easy.
I know.
There's some hitters.
I know, and Nate's been absent a couple times. You know,
Yeah, he probably
like-
forgot how to ride though. That fool gave up.
Yeah, he was crying the other night that he doesn't get Friday night practice.
What has he got to work?
No, we're not going to do practice on Friday night.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Because I'm too scared to usually go out because it's chaos anyway.
Yeah.
learn
No. Everything will be Saturday.
Yeah,
we'll do
cool.
we'll do 2 hours of practice. It won't be what happened
Perfect.
in Arizona. And then and then
Sweet.
straight into
How
it.
long have you been on the clock?
We're done, guys.
Are we done?
We've covered everything.
We could go all night. I could ask you so many things, but yeah.
Do you have one question to ask Max?
Max?
We all get one question to ask
Yeah.
Max. All right, go ahead, Philly.
You're first.
I gotta fix my posture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's horrible.
Oh man. Are you ready to do this for like 5 to 10 more years?
5 or 10, that's a big difference.
That is a big gap, especially when you get old like me.
5 more years. You
Yeah,
ready
for
to do it another
sure.
5? I
He's
like
your
it.
sure.
age.
Huh?
He's your age.
I'm ready to do
Yeah.
it with you.
Yeah. Let's
Whether
roll.
I'm still riding or I get to run your gate or whatever I get to do.
Said,
Let's
I'll
roll.
be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah. No.
I love
100%. I mean,
I love that.
I'm willing to say like I'd throw in the towel if I wasn't ready to do it. You know, and
love it.
even with some of like the roadblocks that we hit with like a lot of corporate like brands coming in and supporting, like we've already mentioned them, and then them backing out. Like there was many times I could have said, nah, I'm not gonna do it anymore. But like 100%. I mean, it's so live and living right now, and there's a demand that of course I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I think things are about to grow.
All right,
Yeah.
Jake, what's your question?
Oh no, I've asked all the questions, so
Why-
you can ask.
Are you gay?
Why are you gay? If there was one thing that you could give like an all call to the riders that's not like super obvious, you know, obviously we want respect. Obviously we want people to show up. But if there's one, you know, he asked you for a piece of advice, but if there's one thing that Max from Ride and Destroy could ask of all these riders to do more of, what would it be?
Damn, that's Steve. That's a hard one.
It is,
I like
but
that.
there-
I like it.
It's something that I can't answer myself because I'm not in your position. You know, I can make assumptions, but I've always wanted to know like where is somewhere that you feel maybe not supported enough or supported too much or something's happening too
No.
much or too little.
I think right now it's come in waves, right? And I love the support. If I were to ask anything out of any of the riders, and it's not even a personal thing, it's more of like follow what you're passionate with and believe in your riding abilities and,
put
everything.
in the work.
Put in the work. It's not gonna. I mean, it's sure in some people, in some cases, it does come to them for free, but
Fully.
do the time. Do the time.
Okay.
That's it. I
like
mean,
that.
I should listen to that.
Dude, you're so sick. It's just you have a very high expectation
Of yourself.
you know, and you like, bro, but you're one of the top dogs. But the problem is that you know what you can do, and then as humbly as I can say, the problem is like, bro, you've been on a stunt bike for 2.5 years, 3 years. I've been riding it for 10. So
And
you
you're
go
doing
ride
it.
with me, and you get pissed off. You can't do what I can do. But when I'm at my next year getting my ass whooped on the baggers, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to be pissed off because I know I can do what you can do, but why am I not doing it yet?
Carl's gonna beat him.
the other thing I would say, like,
If Carl beats me, I swear to God, I'll sell everything I own. You're a
us
good
for
guy.
nothing.
You're a good guy, Carl, but you're not beating me.
You can sell us everything you have for pennies.
For $1. Putting it on record.
Contract that.
Yeah, dude, contract it. Carl, you're a good cunt. But you're not beating me.
I would say one more thing, at least like specifically to stunt riders, but I think it goes across the board with everything. But just because you're the man in your local lot, go out and ride other shit.
100%.
Because you can go and slay it in one parking lot and then come to a brawl and be like, what the hell? Because it's not connecting. And the brawl might be shit. I mean, the brawl lot might be shit. I'll admit it sometimes. But like, just because you can do something, get out of your comfort zone and go elsewhere and go do other things. And I know it's hard to stunt riding. You can't just go everywhere and go do it. But I see these people that will go kill it,
Arizona a lot.
And in Arizona a lot.
Yeah.
That probably, as I've seen online, is probably no more. Like that got cracked down. But
Joey and I used to put cones 50 feet away from each other and ride.
When it sounds so
shows and
hippity
everything
dippity,
else.
but when you show up at the brawl, you're all equals.
yeah,
And if you show up there like I'm the best guy, it shows and you look like an asshole.
yeah.
I'm docking you a point.
Ride everything. Like, do it all. I mean, is there any racetracks that are the same?
No, that's why
No.
you have to just ride everything you
Yeah,
can.
you ride everything you can.
It doesn't matter if it's the side of a highway.
Yeah,
Just ride.
yeah, yeah.
I like that.
I like it. Well, then my question, it's kind of along the same lines, like from everything you've done from ski base jump, downhill mountain biking, wakeboarding, what would you tell your younger self now you wish you'd...
Wakeboarding? We didn't even talk about wakeboarding.
Exactly.
You used to wakeboard?
Not really, no. I don't know where that came from.
That was back when they did it on wood.
All right, fucking 18.
But you've literally done so much. Like we could go on all day. Like
I've done
how
a lot
much of a
stupid,
badass
crazy
shit
things.
you've done.
Sometimes I need to humble myself sometimes, and it's kind of crazy. Like I've definitely have lived like 5 different.
You've lived a
20
life that
crazy
not
different
many
things.
would, and that's
Yeah.
why.
And I don't take
think
it for
it's so
granted.
cool.
at
We're
all.
gonna do another episode with Max down the road. We have some cool guests coming up, but we're
Right.
definitely
We'll
have
do
Max
one in
back.
August. We're gonna bring the gear.
Yeah,
But like real shit, 18-year-old Max is sitting where Jake is sitting. You know,
That's what I wanna know.
You
Like,
know
what would you tell?
everything you know now.
Everything I know now.
Yeah.
Would you tell him to put the bag down?
After
or
your
would you tell
whole
him to
day
go
you've
harder?
had.
find a better one.
What was the question? What would I tell myself?
Your
What-
younger self.
What would you tell your younger self? Like look, you've done all this stuff. You haven't just excelled in one sport. You've excelled in so many. And you've met
18-year-old
so
Maxie.
many people.
That's been my problem. Is that I've followed through on a lot of things, but I've always been such a grab bag of so many different things that I've never excelled at
Focus.
one.
I would rather that and then
Yeah.
just be stuck in one thing the rest of my life. That's me. I like doing
Yeah.
everything.
Would you?
Like imagine only riding dirt bikes for the
I
rest of your
like
life. That's
whooping
it.
your ass at everything.
You can't. I'm the Verona champ. I smoke on a Harley right now.
I mean-
bike's a little different.
You're a fucking
Dude,
sandbagger, dude.
It's shitty, and I go back to going back to our first conversation with all the ski stuff, and my buddy that passed away, Shane. I was like, but they had the slogan that was one life, live it, do it. If you have the opportunity, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Because you're gonna regret it down the road.
If you can do it over money, would you do it?
do it over money,
Like let's say there was money or you're going to do something you love.
No brainer.
yeah, no brainer.
You're sitting at a table full of people that are poor
That was to
because
say,
they
what
do
am I-
what they love.
Yeah, what am I doing right now?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Do what you love and chase
Jake,
it.
we could all be floating in money, dude. Let's be real.
I could have stayed in Australia and stayed as a car dealer my
You
whole
would have
life.
owned the car dealer by now, but
Yeah.
bro, we do what we love around here, and that's why we work
Exactly.
together.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. That's the end.
That's it?
That's it.
It's over?
It's over.
How long have we been here?
Just like
An hour and
literally
10.
exactly,
An
yeah.
hour and 10?
Yeah.
Sick.
Hour 11? Yeah.
That's all we need. We could go for hours.
We could.
I love talking
Easy.
to you, Max. It's
Yeah,
sick, man.
it's good being in a room with a group of people like this.
At least you didn't pull up photos of the way you did earlier. I was waiting for that. I like how the cops is on TV
Yeah, what's
now, though.
happening?
Yeah.
It's like,
Why are you sweating so much? Just watching cops.
I was going to have you guys.
Run up the tab like a track meet, take out the gals, put the gals in the back seat. Run up the tab like a track meet, take out the gals, put the gals in the back seat. Run up the tab like a track meet, take out the gals, put the gals in the back seat. Back seat. Back seat. Back seat. Run up the tab like a track meet, take out the gals, put the gals in the back seat. Yeah. Oh my, I ain't never seen someone look so fly. Pretty skin tone, it caught my eye. You a heavenly being, when did I die? Pardon me, I'm just your type. No, start with me, I'm not about hype. You could garden me and I just might grow to be everything you like. That's awesomeness. Can I I witness your flawlessness. Need a little of your bossiness. They say time is money and your time it get costly. Miss you the hood girl with the brains like a scholar. Good girl, but you're looking for a baller. Need the blue strips on your dollars, but take your number. When she ready, she'll call ya.
Run up the tab like a track meet. Take out the gals, put the gals in the backseat.